Hello everyone, welcome back to TCF Sport. My name is Ben, one half of TCF Sport, as you can tell, as ever, joined by my brother Stephen. How you doing?
Bonjour.
You okay?
I'm good, you?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to the football today, as we're recording on a Sunday. I don't know why I mentioned the day, but yeah, looking forward to the football today, especially the Chelsea-Arsenal game, as indicated by the shirts.
I don't know about looking forward to it. Hoping we don't lose.
Yeah.
Ooh, pessimist. Ooh.
Well, it's the way we're playing at the moment, no? Have you caught up on any of the Champions League highlights midweek, by the way?
I haven't. No. I know Arteta wasn't happy with the penalty, and someone who supports Arsenal at work was like, where's he supposed to put his hand?
Well, we could have had one, and their one was harsh.
We're in a bit of a rough patch at the moment, aren't we? So yeah. It's just one of those things. Sometimes things don't go for you, but you just have to get through it, don't you? Could have been worse. Could have been Mings.
Oh yeah, but even then I saw TNT Sports on their social media obviously comparing it to the Gabriel one against Bayern Munich last season. We got away with one obviously, but
we did get away with it. Yeah. I think we said it at the time, but I don't understand why there's a necessity to pick the ball up anyway. Like, just use your foot. Well, you're a footballer.
But that's the way taking goal kicks has gone, isn't it? Because now centre halves on either side are meant to start with the ball in the 6-yard box to give it to the goalkeeper. I think because it means then the goalkeeper has the option of playing right and left. Whereas if the goalkeeper gives it to either side of the one of the centre halves, if he gives it to the left centre half, it means that they can only play down the left side of the pitch. If he gives it to the right centre half, it means they can only play down to the right side of the pitch.
As if the goalkeeper's playing the goal kick you make.
Yeah, as if the goalkeeper takes it as opposed to if one of the defenders takes it.
Yeah. So the way to combat that is then the goalkeeper picks it up and throws it to the player who wants to take it instead of passing it, because when you pass it, that ball's in play, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not our people, is it? Like £100,000 a week, these.
Yeah, Unai Emery called it, I think, the worst action he's ever seen on a pitch, something like that.
The stupidest mistake he's ever seen.
Yeah. And for someone that's just come back from an ACL injury, I wouldn't put he might be their captain, but I wouldn't put him as one of their starting centre halves because of the defenders they've got instead of him. Can't be making mistakes like that.
Can't go around doing things like that, son.
No.
Or maybe you can, who knows? Maybe you had a bet on.
Yeah, well, that's ruined their 100% record, but
Ivan gave him a call.
I don't know what I was doing in Saudi Arabia. Don't really keep up to date with Saudi football.
It's hard enough keeping up with all the other leagues, let alone trying to keep up with that.
One of those things. Anyway, as a point of introduction, off podcast, you've said a few things about a couple of people talking to you about the podcast. Mm-hmm. Did you want to raise it, bring it up? Because we didn't do it last time when we were meant to do it last time.
Not raise it makes it sound like an issue. Not raise it. But there's someone I work with, funny enough, called Ben, if you're watching. And he said words to the effect to me of, when you're going to invite the big boys then to come onto your podcast to talk about the big teams. Now, he's a Chelsea fan, and he's probably around the same age as you. So we'll forgive him for thinking that Chelsea are a big team, because they're what you'd call a plastic big team, aren't they?
It's all he's known all his life, if he's the same age as me is.
Exactly. When Abramovich came in, they're a big team. Yeah. That's one for your clips to rile the Chelsea fans. There you go, that is clickbait. Yeah. Keep that bit on.
Yeah.
So I said, whenever you're free, more than happy to have you. I don't know where the space is,
but likewise, the more people get on with different opinions.
Absolutely.
So it's not just the...
I said, come on in. He says, I've been watching it on YouTube. I said, that's his first mistake. You should listen to it, not watch it. I don't know why I'm saying that, because you need views.
Better on YouTube than anywhere else.
And then Jim of the Gregs as well. He came up with a great idea. He's like, what your podcast needs is like a former Arsenal player to come on. Yeah. He's like, but obviously you won't be able to get anyone like Ian Wright or Ray Parlour. You have to go for someone like David Hillier or John Lukic. I was like, yeah, but maybe they would come on. So if you want a free glass of water.
And to sit in my bedroom while we record.
Or my dining room. Yeah. We'll see which one's available, which recording studio's available. See, at least we've got two recording studios.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and wonder like me how this isn't Gary Lineker's love child.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Do I have what it is? I'm just going to stare into the camera. Do I have what it is? Is Ian Wright going to come from behind me and pick me up like the Champions League trophy? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Juggies Junior, they call you, didn't they?
All right. I'll give the old Joey Barton back to you now. We're recording.
As long as you don't come in my face.
Oh, Philippe. Funny. Shall we crack on with some of the talking points from last weekend's football, which is obviously Matchweek 10?
Yeah.
Anywhere particular that you want to start, or should I reel through the talking points that I've put down?
No, you go.
Okay, so the first question, with a bit of taking into account yesterday's football as well, because I imagine you've seen the results, if not caught up.
I've seen the results, but I haven't seen the highlights.
Are Liverpool favourites for the Premier League title?
Too soon to say. If it's 10 games to go and they're 5 points clear, whatever it is, then yeah, maybe. But to answer your question of another question, if Liverpool don't win the league title, are they bottle jobs?
According to Jamie Carragher, it'll be they'll have overachieved. Nobody expected Arne Slot to be fair, nobody expected Arne Slot to be where they are at the moment, but no doubt the narrative will be spun a certain way.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's always spun a certain way.
Yeah.
Tottenham are so brave. Poor defending.
Yeah.
Poor game plan and game management.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fault the start that he's had, though, and he has done incredibly well. I know you made the point of, when you're taking over the squad that Jurgen Klopp had, and obviously it was a decent squad, but still, in the past...
I've made that point, to be fair.
No, I know, but it's a fair point to raise, but I don't think anybody would have had them to start the way they have started, and he deserves an enormous amount of credit for both the start in the Premier League and the Champions League, because it looks like they're going to sail through qualification for that at the halfway stage, 1 or 4 games, the only teams who have done so. So, I mean, fair play to him, but having watched them in the odd game, I think while they've turned it on in moments, they're still a little bit susceptible. So I'm not going to call them favourites for the Premier League title either, especially because it is too soon also. But they do deserve enormous credit for how they started the season.
Yeah, the telling point would be when they pick up a couple of injuries, when they go through that sticky patch where they have a couple of losses or a couple of draws in the spin.
Well, talking of injuries, Trent picked up a hamstring injury yesterday. I know they've got Conor Bradley who came on, who's a decent replacement. But obviously Trent's incredibly creative as well. So,
yeah. Well, is he taking a leaf out of Reece James's book, is he?
Then we won't see him for about the next 4 years. And
well, Liverpool might not see him. He's still out of contract in the summer, isn't he?
He is out of contract in the summer, and he said that he wants to win a Ballon d'Or, which usually implies that I want to go to Real Madrid, because often Real Madrid players win the Ballon d'Or, although not this year. But
is he going to City? No, they've got too many fines and legal disputes coming through.
Especially if Pep leaves at the end of the season as well. I don't imagine a player like Alexander-Arnold would go to City. Not that it's rumoured anyway, but a lot depends on Pep.
Last one from Liverpool to City was Sterling, correct?
Yes, I believe so, from the top of my head.
Hasn't happened too often.
No, or the other way either, or vice versa.
I think from City to Liverpool, last one potentially Milner.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Those are the most high-profile ones in recent years. Good football knowledge over there. Very good. Mm-hmm. Second point. Do you think, talking of staying on the topic of the Premier League title, do you think this season will be different to those of previous years? I.e., so in recent years, clubs at the top have maintained a perfect record, especially towards the back end of the season. But it feels like a lot of teams, bar Liverpool, are already dropping quite a few points. So do you think that's going to be a feature for the overall season? Are we going to see a lower points total compared to other seasons? Yeah,
definitely. I don't think Liverpool are going to maintain it for the whole season like a City do. But I know everyone's probably a little bit knee-jerk about City as well. They've lost 2 Premier League games in a row.
And 4 in a row for the first time in Pep's managerial career.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd bounce back with a win against Brighton, I'm not going to lie, but I'm here for as long as it continues.
Yeah, you must be sick if you're enjoying the City downfall.
Bibbidi bobbidi go Stag!
And the first Family Guy reference.
Well,
it's only taken 9 minutes. Yes.
Well, I thought it was apt.
He all right.
Yeah. Where were we? What were we talking about? The points total, wasn't it?
Yeah, if it would be lower.
Yeah, it will be lower. But it makes it a bit more interesting. But it means those other teams maybe are improving as well.
Yeah, it's nice to see, because you sort of, in previous years, you'd be hoping that a team might drop a point here and there, as in the teams at the top of the league. But it's certainly at the start of this season, you just have to judge it by 1st to 12th, or especially 2nd to 12th. The gap in points is far closer than it usually is. It's like one win, and you could push yourself into the top 4. Otherwise, a defeat and another team below, a couple of teams below you win, and you sort of drop down to mid-table at the moment. So
I mean, it's still relatively early days, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 10 games in.
But usually you start to see already like the differences, who's going to be where.
I mean, it's good in this respect because a couple of seasons ago, that was the relegation battle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's better, it's this way round. And then you just got the 4 or 5 teams, Palace, Wolves, the 3 that came up, Everton.
But at least that, compared to last season, is more exciting as well. Because last season, you kind of knew that the 3 promoted were going to go down, and they were.
I mean, this season, 2 of them are going down at least.
Yeah, but at least you've got that a bit more jeopardy, and it's certainly closer already. And is it only Ipswich left now in the league who haven't won a game? Because Wolves won yesterday. Southampton beat Everton.
Palace beat Spurs.
Yeah, so I think it is. It's only Ipswich left.
That makes yesterday's loss even worse, really, doesn't it? They beat Spurs at home, but lose to Fulham at home. I don't get me wrong, Fulham are a good team, but they're normally a little bit
but
inconsistent away.
You said, I think that's this year's Brentford have turned into Fulham in that sense. Very good at home, but away from home, I know they've had a few tricky games, but away from home, they're struggling a little bit.
But without this sounding more stupid than it does, they're having to really outscore teams. Though, like, you look at yesterday, 3-2. Ipswich was 4-3, I think, wasn't it? And they went 2-0 down. Yeah. So
it makes the GTEC Community Stadium a great place to watch football, but I feel like you're
getting your money's worth.
Exactly. I feel like you're far more likely to do that at home than you are away from home. It becomes more difficult to do that away from home. Hence why I don't think they've picked up a win away from home so far this season.
You could be correct there.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, on West Ham, another point I wanted to raise. Do West Ham fans have a right to criticise Lopetegui and to want a change in manager already?
They have a right to criticise him. They pay their money. They go to the game. They watch it. And what was the second part of the question, sorry?
Do they have a right to want a change in manager already? Why is that?
Be careful what you wish for.
You see, so
you wanted this. I did read the question beforehand. Sorry, I know you was about to say something else.
That's right.
I can't help but think of the first Jack Reacher film of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Remember, you asked for this.
You like bringing up your old Jack Reacher references at points.
Do I?
I think it might have been the last one off podcast.
Oh, off podcast.
Yeah, I think. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to ask this question is because I've seen a few things on social media, but YouTube especially, of pundits as well saying that West Ham fans obviously treated David Moyes harshly, but are they not entitled to, if they want a change in style, if they want a change in manager, even though they might be comfortable staying in the Premier League, but according to them it's not entertaining and they feel like they can get more, are they not entitled to then want different?
Yeah, I know, but then if you get that manager in play, don't then moan about it that you're not picking up as many points as you had been previously. What do you want?
No, the only reason why I wanted to raise it is because I do understand sometimes why West Ham fans, one, they criticise David Moyes and they're obviously now criticising Lopetegui. I get that from an outside perspective, maybe you feel like they've got less of a right to do so because it felt like they hounded Moyes out at the end and ultimately he won them a European trophy. They're always fairly comfortable, but at the same time, I guess they're more qualified to say what they want at that club in a way. I mean, if they're not being entertained...
Qualified is a strong word.
I know,
there,
but,
isn't it?
but like, it's their club. They're obviously going to watch their team far more than we watch them.
Yeah.
We only judge based on... We watch them occasionally, of course, and we watch highlights, but we only judge where they are in the Premier League at the end of the day. And obviously that was fairly comfortable under David Moyes. But in terms of style of play... I bring it back to the point that I said last week when we were talking about Arsenal and Arteta. Do you not want to be entertained first and foremost? Is that not a bare minimum?
You do want to be entertained, but I've come through the years of fourth place as a trophy and we played the most entertaining football when Chelsea were running away with the leagues. So, and some Chelsea fans that, I think it was the manager of your football team at the time, said I'd rather go and watch Arsenal play because Chelsea are boring, but Chelsea are winning. So what do you want?
Yeah. I was just
because at the end of the day, like in years to come, when you look back in the records of the history books, it doesn't show what style of play they played or anything.
No, I know that.
Who won?
I know that. But in terms of the here and now and what we're watching, it's a balance.
I mean, you do want to be entertained, yeah. I don't think Arsenal as boring as what you've made out.
I'm
Get it, Arsenal fans!
I didn't say that at all.
Fake Arsenal fan over there. But I win all their quizzes. He won this in a competition. Weren't going to bring that up, were you?
I wasn't going to bring it up. And I didn't call Arsenal boring. I was just saying in terms of you want to be entertained first and foremost. I've got to bring it back to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, seeing as we're talking about Arsenal, I feel like we should actually come to a bit of important Arsenal news that's happened this week, a genuine point of conversation.
I know.
Have you been surprised or caught off guard by Edu's decision to leave his role as sporting director?
Yeah, I have. I mean, there was conversations a season or two ago, wasn't there, about him maybe leaving? But to just do it 10 games into a season is bizarre. Wenger's been linked with a role, apparently.
Has he really?
Yeah. I don't know how... but any role that's open, Wenger's always going to be linked because of his, history with Arsenal. But, yeah, that was a strange one. I don't get that. It makes you wonder what's going on behind the scene now, doesn't it?
Well, so then the follow-up part of that is, do you think it will negatively affect Arsenal, both on and off the pitch, going forwards?
Hope not, but only time will tell.
It feels like certainly off the pitch for the short term, because we're only a couple of months out from a January transfer window. Obviously, Edu is quite important in the whole getting players in and getting players out of the club. Obviously, we would have had some sort of plan in place for January, whether we'll be able to buy anyone or not. But taking away your main person who does or puts all the legwork in for the deals, it's a little bit surprising. It will certainly affect us in January. The fact that it feels like it's caught not just us off guard, but it caught, from what I've read, a lot of the Arsenal boardroom, a lot of the staff at Arsenal in general off guard, means it does feel like it's going to have a bit of an effect. Obviously, talking about the off-pitch effect of signings, it then feels like it could filter down onto the pitch of we might not be signing certain players that either are up to standards or that we want. I'm not really sure.
Going back to the bad days.
Yeah, but then
or not signing at all.
You could you then call into question Edu's record at Arsenal with some of the signings? I'm not too sure.
I don't know, because it's not just about one person, is it? Really, the manager should be identifying who he wants or what he wants.
Well, he obviously has an influence on it, but it's certainly from when it, say 20 years ago, when you had managers who would just only decide. It felt like there's certainly a wider circle of people that decide at clubs these days.
Yeah, it's all evolved now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you want something's gone on somewhere for him to just up and leave, really.
Yeah, although
I haven't been this shocked since David Dean left.
Yeah, that came out of the blue as
well.
From what I read in his autobiography.
That was like that was massive.
Well,
people forget how important he was for the club.
He felt like he got forced out of the club, didn't he? From what
I think
I've read.
so, yeah. From reading the book a little bit. I'm not sure if that was because he wanted to bring in certain investors, and they said no at the time, and then a few years later they brought him in anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
all water under the bridge.
No, on Edu, of course it's a surprise. From what I've read, it feels like, so he's been mooted as going to work with the current Nottingham Forest owner, but under the three clubs that he currently owns, so he wouldn't be working only with Forest. They also want to expand the number of clubs that they have. So long story short, it feels like Edu's gone because he wants a more powerful role working with multiple clubs, more authority than when it comes to making decisions, because it feels like he hasn't always had that at Arsenal. It feels like there's more hoops to jump through. And by managing more clubs or being sporting director for multiple clubs, he's going to be earning more money, which puts him into line with the article that I read the other day. It said it puts him into line with like what current top level managers earn. So in terms of those things, it's not as surprising, but the timing and the way it was announced has certainly come as a surprise. I guess the last major action that he did was helping Arteta sign that 3-year deal last month or so. So it was almost like
don't worry, Mikel, I'll be staying. Bye.
It almost feels like he's decided, right, now Arteta's signed onto a longer term contract again, I'm free to do what I want to do.
He's done him dirty, isn't he? He's done what Ferguson did to Van Persie. Don't worry, Robin, I'm definitely staying. Definitely staying after this season. Promise. Robin, I've got something to tell you.
Bye.
Oh, okay, I'll go injured again. Just the 2 good seasons for me.
Yeah, tell me about it. Did you also want to bring up commentary in the Liverpool-Arsenal game that you mentioned during the last podcast, but we never actually got round to it?
Yeah, never got round to it. Too busy gassing out other stuff. I'll have to read it. So, and this is word for word. I wrote this down because I'm sad like that.
Yeah.
You know. But, so Diaz kicked the ball away after Arsenal were ordered a free kick. And the BBC commentator said something along the lines of this. Ben White and Arsenal fans making the point, if you kick the ball away, you get a yellow card. Perhaps it is if you kick the ball away hard, which Diaz didn't do. He clearly didn't watch the highlights when the ball touched Declan Rice's foot and went out, and he got a second yellow card. And this is what I mean about, I said it on the last podcast, about them knowing their trade. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, well, it's like...
Because if that was Arsenal, the other way round, to be saying, he's lucky he hasn't got a yellow, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I know. But it's like I was watching the Newcastle-Arsenal game last week with Dad, and David Raya caught the ball from a corner. He wanted to try and launch a quick counter-attack. A few Newcastle players got in his way, and the commentator was, David Raya seems intent on running into Newcastle players there. It's like... he didn't even just say it once. There was a corner in the second half, which meant the commentator said it again. So he said it twice. Muted effect because it actually annoyed me.
I still love him losing his SHIT at that old Pep Guardiola at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who's he looking at? You know what he's going? Who's he looking at? Like,
so annoyed.
Grow up. Calm down. It's just football, mate. Just football.
You telling Pep Guardiola to grow up?
Yeah, grow up. Speaking on commentators, lovely Isaac header, great cross of the ball by Anthony Gordon.
Yeah,
it was Guy Mowbray who. Anyway, that ball's almost just hit Anthony Gordon's foot for the cross.
Yeah.
It's it's the best cross so far this season. Giving it all this, like he's almost just let the ball hit his boot. No, I don't think so. I think he's put his foot through the ball and put a great ball into the box, Guy.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you say about commentators now in the trade?
you can tell they don't play even five-a-side.
No, it's not like the cross.
They wouldn't be very good at horse.
You beat me.
Only at horse.
Yeah, not at ends.
No, you beat me at ends.
Yeah, I mean it's cheat. Yeah.
Oh, if the ball goes over, the other person gets a goal. Oh no, not if it comes off the bar though.
Well, obviously, you just punted the ball over the pitch with your big toe over there.
I was testing how high the nets were.
Yeah, I smacked it against the bar, almost top bins, and it goes over.
It was on the top corner of the bar. That's why.
Yeah, What about the other 6 goals that I beat you by?
Yeah, some of them were lucky.
Whatever you say.
There was definitely a couple I should have got my head to though. That's for certain.
Yeah, they're just practicing for the end of the season.
But I mean, you were a horse. What was I? H.
Yeah. Well, it was the best one. Was the aim for the number 8. First time. Fair enough. Give you that one.
Well, I gave you the option. It could have been the Dutch sign and the number 8.
I didn't hear either. So.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good fun.
It was good fun.
Anyway, great header by Isaac because we have been talking about Arsenal.
So we can come to some of the games you want to talk about. Some of the games, as you said before we started recording, it was a pretty standard week to be fair. But any major talking points for you that you wanted to cover?
I'll give. Is it Aina for Forest? A tickaboo.
Yes, I forgot about that one.
Good finish. You've put here Forest on a title charge. No.
Tongue in cheek. It was tongue in cheek. Well, last week I put Forest on a European qualification or top 4 charge. I only asked that question because their record at the moment, at the time of recording, is identical to Leicester's when Leicester won the league. So you see the odd thing on social media.
No.
Forest could do a Leicester.
No.
They could do a Leicester.
No.
Yeah.
No. Just no.
Not with Chris Wood up top.
It's like no. It's like Aston Villa last season because they beat City at home. You know, are you challenging for the title? Asking Emi Martinez, it's like, oh yeah, I think we are. You're not.
October, November time. Yeah. Wait until February, March when it's
Exactly. So, but they're doing well. They're doing a lot better than what I thought they'd do. I thought Nuno would be losing his job.
We've got to give him massive credit because we both said
absolutely.
that, and also that I think we both had them in bottom 3 from when we started.
Potentially,
the season.
We did change it again, didn't we? After seeing how the season started and the close of the transfer window.
I know,
but sometimes we were on the money. Sometimes we were wrong.
Well, considering they finished last season, I know they did a 2-point deduction, but they finished with 32 points in 17th, so 1 place above the relegation zone. Obviously, in most normal seasons, by previous Premier League standards, they would have gone down. So I thought it would have been a continuation of that. The summer business that they've done, though, as we said previously, has been excellent. So they deserve all the credit that they're getting at the moment, including from us. So
is it Turner? Is he still there, the goalkeeper?
No, Turner's at Crystal Palace.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I think only on loan, but he made his first appearance in the League Cup win at Aston Villa the other day.
Oh, okay.
Conceded a goal that he shouldn't have conceded, but they also won.
Shock.
So, yeah.
But apparently, according to Clinton Morrison, Henderson was a bit weak with one of the goals that Fulham scored yesterday.
He has been, again, against Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood's goal that Henderson let through under his arms. He obviously made a brilliant save against Tottenham in the game that they won. But, yeah, well, Palace... It's indicative of Palace's whole start because they haven't been that good, which is very surprising. And I know they've got a few injuries now, but as you said, I think at the start of recording this, it was a bit of a surprise the way they got done by Fulham. Or in one way, it was a bit of a surprise by Fulham's like traditional way form. On the other hand, though, there's just a difference in how the clubs have started, because Fulham have been very good and Palace have been poor. So
just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Should also give credit to Bournemouth as well for their win against City.
Yeah, very good.
Is becoming a fortress.
Yeah, very good win.
Yeah. Although I also haven't watched all of the highlights yet from yesterday's action, but Kepa was put back in goal instead of Travers. And on Sky Sports highlights, a lot of Bournemouth fans underneath were saying, I don't understand why Kepa's been put back in goal already when Travers has played really well in the last 3 games, which he has. We'll see going forwards.
See how he does when the next home game.
Yeah.
But he's conceded 3 now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So.
And it sounds like one of them he should have kept out.
Shock. That was like the battle of the goalkeepers then, wasn't it? Kepa and Flecken.
Flecken's been alright so far this season, although they are conceding a lot of goals still. But
he's always got an error in him though, hasn't he? Have you seen that one? I think I'm not sure if he's playing for Reading, but it's at Reading, where he's in the back of the goal getting his water bottle, doesn't know that there's an attack on.
Is that's
Flecken?
Is that Flecken?
Yeah.
Really? I thought that was overseas. That was in the German league, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was overseas then.
I didn't realise it was Flecken.
That was Flecken. Yeah.
I don't know what league it was, but I've seen the highlight of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it a couple of weeks ago.
Jesus.
Because I was showing like the greatest or the top 5 goalkeeper mistakes as far as YouTube was concerned.
Yeah.
Didn't show Taibbi because obviously they don't know about that one.
No.
These youngsters that put all this stuff together. But yeah. Anyone else you want to talk about?
A couple of things actually. So the Wolves Crystal Palace game, did you think at the end, Mateta on Sarr, when it was 2-2 supposed foul, I put foul in air quotes, Anthony Taylor gave it after Mateta scored. Did you think Sarr was a little bit lucky?
Probably, yeah. I didn't really see what was going on there, but you know what it's like. You touch a goalkeeper. They've got special rules for goalkeepers.
Yeah, I know. It was a bit surprising.
But then Wolves, you could argue Wolves deserve some luck, the decisions they've had go against them the last couple of seasons. So, and we discussed on the last podcast about the fans saying you don't know what you're doing with his subs, and then they went 2-1 up.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, they won yesterday as well, didn't they?
Well, that was a must-win.
Yeah, I know.
The Palace game, apparently, before O'Neill was saying it's not a must-win against Palace.
Yeah.
And I think the Sky commentator was saying, I disagree with that. You need to win this one, etc., etc. Although...
That was more a must-not-lose. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Must-not-lose.
No, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
And you're spot on the money with that.
Yeah.
That's don't lose that one at home. Because, again, Palace, although we've just been saying we're not sure where they are, you just don't know with Palace, really. And they've got good players.
Well, they seem to play pretty well in the game against Wolves, especially first half, but they couldn't score, partly because Chalobah was some great defending from Mateta. When
he blocked it on the line.
Yeah.
Great save!
Exactly.
Oh, well.
Yeah, also Southampton-Everton I wanted to cover. Did you see Beto miss from 6 yards? He hit the bar. The ball came in, headed it against the bar. Might not be able to remember.
No, I can't remember.
He
had a good finish, but it was offside, wasn't he?
He did, yeah, only by that much. All I wanted to say about Beto, besides that finish though, the one that he did miss, he has been taking finishing lessons off Calvert-Lewin, I swear to God.
Maybe he just can't head the ball.
No,
because he took his offside finish well.
He did. No,
that was late again, wasn't it? Because he got the late equaliser against Fulham.
Yeah, because Southampton scored, and then Everton went up the other end and scored straight away. But obviously it was disallowed, ruled out. So.
Speaking of offsides, do you know when they're bringing in the... Because I thought that was going to be after the first international break.
It was meant to be the start of this season, then it was meant to be after the first international break, and now I think they're talking about from January or February onwards.
Okay, are they even going to do this? I mean, I think it should have been in from the start of the season. I don't see how you can change what you're using midway through a season.
Do you know why there is an issue bringing it in? I don't understand. Is it just because some clubs don't have the technology yet, or they're still trying to get the technology?
No, I've got no idea. But I thought you might know.
No, it makes it so much clearer. And the fact that some Premier League clubs have it in the Champions League, it makes me then wonder if there is just a difference because...
Yeah. But it's really good, isn't it? Because you can see which part of their body was offside. And when it's like his toe was offside just like that, you're like, Jesus.
And they make decisions so quickly. It's done.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Well, that brings me back to the whole point about VAR. Should it just be offsides only for those offsides? And I think, I come around to that view more and more. Not that we've had any contentious VAR decisions, but yeah.
This weekend?
No doubt.
Last weekend,
so far.
not last weekend, weekend before, the Wolves Wolves. West Ham,
West
Man
Ham.
United.
Yeah, well, we did, again, the title of that podcast, wasn't it? We had that West Ham United one, and you had the Bernardo Silva offside one, which we disagreed on, but again, not clear and obvious.
Yeah, it was offside.
And the Saliba red card. Smiling over there, but it wasn't offside.
That's right, he was offside, that's right. Well done.
He wasn't offside.
He was offside.
Yeah. Last one that I wanted to cover. Solanke, do you think he's finding a little bit of form? Do you think he's living
Good
up
couple of finishes against Villa, yeah. Credit where credit's due. I know, because I slated him at the beginning.
Or it wasn't so much slate, you just questioned the price tag.
Oh yeah, definitely questioned the price tag.
Which you probably still do. But
yeah. To quote our brother about someone else, missed a decimal point there, didn't they? That was when Carroll went from Newcastle to Liverpool all those seasons ago.
£35 million. They bought Suarez for less money than that.
I know.
For less money than they signed Andy Carroll.
You know, the joke of it was the season before. I think when I was in the Championship, they tried to get rid of him for $1 million and couldn't get rid of him. It's insane what a bit of form will do, isn't it?
Bit of form and that English tax coming in.
But yeah, good couple of finishes from Solanke.
He scored a nice one against Galatasaray in midweek as well. I know they lost the game.
Lost though, didn't they?
Yeah, but
that's their problem. Like they do concede quite a few, but that's their style of play.
Yeah, so we are, mate. But I mean, they did rotate. To me, the defeating Galatasaray, as much as they might have conceded a few goals, they can have that because they've won their first 3 games in the Europa League. So it's one of those that you rotated. You've got a fresh squad for today.
The centre half's out injured as well, isn't he? Again,
Van de Ven hamstring,
which is massive because they can play that high line because he's so quick.
Yeah, I know.
That's where they're going to get caught out a little bit.
Yeah, but it does feel like repeated muscle injuries for him, which is never a good sign.
Yeah,
good player, but never a good sign. Did you think the old Caicedo volley was a ticker as well?
Yeah, I'd give him a ticker. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's everything that I wanted to cover from the last match week. You got anything else that you wanted to bring up?
No, I don't think so. Well, actually, you've got it here. Ipswich hard done by with the officiating decisions.
Oh, yes. One that I did want to cover. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Which yellow card? Because you told me about...
The second one.
Yeah, I mean, even the first one was...
The first one... If it almost felt like because he was trying to stop a counter-attack. I know Leicester still counter-attack, but he was a bit late on the midfielder. But the second one, he pulled his foot out.
Oh, no.
It was never a booking.
I even think the first one was a harsh yellow,
but
personally.
Do you remember the penalty decision in that same phase of play, the second one, that Ipswich thought they should have got? A corner, I think, swung in. Ipswich player controlled it, and then the Leicester defenders just sort of ran into him. Did you think it was a penalty? Do you think it should have been given?
I don't think so. I'd have written it down if I thought there was a penalty.
Yeah. No, but see, because a lot of Ipswich fans obviously...
Because they thought that was a penalty, and then he went on and got the second yellow card, didn't he?
But
I didn't think it was a penalty.
I would argue that it wasn't a penalty. I think they got that one correct, but it was never a second yellow. He pulled his foot out. He's not an idiot. He's not going to go around kicking someone when he knows he's on a booking and they're 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I know.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. There you go.
Cool. Then I want to ask a couple of more questions before we come to the table of results, a particularly good table of results for you last week, which we,
normal services resumed this week though, isn't it?
So far,
won't be too worried about it.
So, which club outside of the traditional top 6 do you think has the best chance of finishing in the European places?
Still Villa.
Even though with the Champions League football so far this season?
I'll still say Villa. I know their away form's a little bit. They've lost to Spurs and Liverpool away.
2 fairly tough games.
Yeah.
No, that's a good shout. I also... Obviously, Forest have done really well so far this season. Brighton have. But I mentioned them a little bit earlier on. Fulham have really impressed me. I know some games they probably should have picked up a few more points, even like going back to the start of the season. Everton away, United away at the start of the season. They had a couple of counter-attacks. City away, Adama Traore has 3 chances. But the fact they're getting these chances, they're a really good team. So I wanted to shout out for them as well. And the next one, do you think any managers will lose their jobs over the international break?
Potentially. Yeah. I've seen the managers you put down Pep Guardiola.
Oh, it's only because some City fans on social media...
Calling for his head again?
I just clicked the comments on Instagram after City obviously posted that they lost 2-0 yesterday. It's like, thanks, Pep. If you don't want to be here anymore, then sod off. Or Pep out, we've lost 4 in a row. Come on, man. It's like all the Real Madrid fans calling for Ancelotti's head. Like, What? What are you talking about? He
It's
just
so
won the league and the
reactionary,
Champions
isn't it?
League.
It's so reactionary.
He's trying to figure out how to fit Mbappe and Vinicius into the same team. It's going to take time.
Yeah, it takes time to gel. Too many egos. Yeah, I mean, Pep Guardiola won't get sacked. He'd quit or he'd walk away.
End of the season.
I think the two that are probably in most danger out of your list there are Glasner and Lopetegui.
I would say Lopetegui and Russell Martin. I don't think Glasner's in trouble yet.
No, but I don't know with Russell Martin because obviously they want that style of play that he uses. There's potentially a thing of let him get the Premier League experience this season. We'll get relegated, but he'll bring us straight back up again.
It depends what their expectations are this season. If they feel like they should be surviving, which I think is the wrong expectation, because you can try and survive, but I don't think they have the quality there to survive. But maybe they're doing that, maybe not. It just feels like once the media start jumping on somebody's back, I saw an article yesterday, not that I read it, just a headline of he's defiant despite being under heavy pressure. Once you start talking about that, there's no smoke without fire.
The media are a bunch of bastards, though, aren't they? Like they really pile it on sometimes, and it's every little thing nowadays as well, especially with social media. All it is just clickbait because the more visits you get, the more money you get from advertising. Like it's just disgraceful sometimes the behaviour of them.
It also feels like Gary O'Neill could be one or two bad results away from losing his job, and I only say that because they've obviously got an easier run of fixtures. So having had the bad start that they've had, it now feels like they should pick up points. Or they need to pick up points.
Yeah, and they were never playing that poorly, were they? No. Obviously, the Chelsea game, that massive sort of 6-2 was a bit out of character for them. But it looks like it's going back with Sarr in goal. And it sounds like a broken record. Obviously, the main centre-half Kilman having gone. Yeah. But now they're playing people who are around him or teams that they should be getting some sort of points off of.
Yeah.
And they're building a bit of momentum. Like Palace got the draw. Like you say, maybe a touch of luck that the third goal for Palace was disallowed, but c'est la vie.
Yeah.
And then they won yesterday, which is what they needed to do. Yeah. So they're building that momentum.
Yeah.
And even City, they shouldn't have lost against City.
No, shouldn't have lost against...
Silva was offside.
It was not offside. Shouldn't have lost against Newcastle when they were 1-0 up and hit the post at 1-0 and Harvey Barnes scores a screamer. Ooh,
he did, yeah.
Harvey Barnes. Yeah. But we'll see with them. It does feel like he's under a bit of pressure just because, like I say, if they lose a few games that it feels like they're meant to now be winning, that they'll make a change.
Well, if you want to do that and be in a relegation battle, then so be it.
Oh, they might be in a relegation battle anyway, the way they started the season.
Who do you think they'd get in?
I don't know. That's
Moisey?
Depends if he wants the job. It would be funny.
Nathan Jones is available, wouldn't he?
Top 3 manager in Europe, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's who Southampton are going to go back to.
I wonder where Graham Potter's going to end up.
Yeah, because it feels like he's obviously doing a few things in the media, and it's like he's ready to come back into management. Obviously linked with the England job, linked with the United job, but got neither or took neither. I'm not too sure.
So I don't think he'd go to Southampton if they lost their manager.
Maybe you're looking at a club like West Ham if Lopetegui doesn't improve.
Maybe, from Chelsea to West Ham?
Yeah, but it's the way he was treated at Chelsea. It's one of those things that... Mourinho went from Chelsea to Tottenham to... Yeah. So who knows? That's worse. Table of results.
Go on then.
To wrap up.
Yeah.
So, match week 10. We all had fairly decent weeks, but someone had a very good week. I got 9. James got 8. You got 12. I think that's our first double-figure return of this season. Three correct scores, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it means that overall, I am now on 68. You are on 63, and James is on 59. Not taking into account any games so far this weekend, because obviously we only add the scores up after all games have been played. There is a 1-point change to your score, though, from my records. I will have to show you off podcast just to confirm. But match week 6, James had you written down as you'd scored 6 points. And according to when I was collecting some data from all yesterday, which I'll talk about in a minute, you only got 5 points and not 6. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll show you off podcast just to confirm. But it means
cheating again then?
You're on 63, not 64. Well, we'll
cheating
see.
Again, we'll see. We'll see.
It was quite interesting, though, because I've just been playing around with Excel yesterday and just collecting some of the data. The 2 things that I want to do, one, collect data of all the predictions which I've done, and it's produced some fairly interesting things. The second thing that I'm doing, I'm making a Premier League table based on all of our predictions. So
have you not got enough to do with this podcast? Jeez.
It's just because I'm trying to learn Excel as well. It's always learning new things, but it's just, again, collecting data. I understand how to do it, so it won't take me that long now. But it'd be quite interesting to see that where we've got every team based on how we predicted them. So, I mean, I only put 2 clubs that I'd done yesterday just to try it out. I think, I have predicted City to have won every single game so far this season. So, it's quite interesting. I quite enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But the data that I did collect yesterday, even though I'm winning by 5 points...
I love my data.
I do love my data. To go back to the whole data in football.
Is it not data? You spent some time in America.
We're not American, thank you.
Data, eh?
Yeah. Across 10 weeks of predictions, so 100 games so far in total, I have predicted the fewest combined correct scores and results. Yeah, I'm winning by 5 points. So I predicted 46 correct scores and results compared to yours and James's 49.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm winning is because I predicted the highest number of correct scores.
Yeah,
so
you do
11,
get more correct scores, yeah.
11 compared to your 7 and James's 5, which I don't know if that's...
That's called the Chris Sutton conundrum, isn't it?
The Chris Sutton conundrum.
You know what he said about, I'd rather be more correct with my results than with my scores.
You brought that up on the podcast before, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think at the start of last season. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good return, though. I mean, so of 100 games in total, what it is, 1 in 10 I predict as a correct score. Of 100 games in total, you predicted 7 correct scores and James has predicted 5. So his is 1 in 20 and yours is, every 7 out of 100 games. Is that good or is that bad? I feel like we should be doing better.
I don't know.
I confuse you with my data.
I'm trying to work out, what do we do? Correct scores and correct results. Correct scores 3 points.
Correct scores
results
3
1 point.
points, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
You also get a massive slice of luck.
You say you call it luck. What was it said to you? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And what have I said to you before?
You do hate the
I
game.
do hate the game.
So why are we doing a podcast?
all I do want to say about the game, though, is it's between me and you who's versing James in ends. Because James has openly said in our group chat, I'm never going to predict Arsenal to lose or draw. So Arsenal are winning 38 games according to James.
I know his Premier League table's going to look. Yeah. Yeah. What is it you said to that? Just that...
Yeah. I was just like...
Face palm.
Yeah. Funny enough, he's got Arsenal to beat Chelsea today.
Yeah, I think did you go draw or did you go...
I went for a Desmond.
Yeah. I was going to go draw, but I went Chelsea win just on how we've been the last few games. So.
Yeah. Hopefully we win. That's the one result every week. Obviously, if I've gone against Arsenal, I want to be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But
so
the way it's been so far this season, especially the last 4 or 5 games.
So I think I had us to lose to Liverpool, didn't I? But we drew.
Yeah, because that was a correct score that I got because I had to walk.
Yeah.
But that really frustrated me because the second goal that we conceded, we shouldn't have conceded.
And Anthony Taylor saw was about to get the winner and was like, hang on, this is bad for City, the draw's better. Yeah. Especially with their form they've got coming up to make it look like they're not in the title race.
Yeah. Yeah. He could have reffed it like he did the Palace game. At least the Palace-Wolves game, he let the goal go in first before he blew his whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I think that wraps it up nicely. Unless you've got anything more to add?
No.
No?
No, I think it's all done.
Yeah. A quicker podcast than usual this week. Very good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent indeed.
Because we weren't doing too many quotes, that's why.
No, I think we've only got...
Like 2 in there?
But one Family Guy one that was 9 minutes in the... Baby buddy, ghost dad! Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He all right.
Well, if you're enjoying this City downfall, you are sick.
Yeah. That is true, yeah. And on that note... Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, as always. To everyone listening, watching, wherever you're consuming, thank you always for tuning in. And if you are watching on YouTube, as always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Just get involved, as always. Growth has always been steady since we've been going, as we said.
Especially if you're an Everton fan or a plastic Chelsea fan.
We'll have an Everton shirt up soon, don't you worry. Yeah, on that note, see you next time.